Austin Ekeler is staying home with the Chargers. And there was a lot of talks about this. A lot of talks about this year. But after so much going on, and Austin Ekeler said he wanted to be a Charger. He was willing to go play elsewhere, but he wanted to be a Charger, and he made that known 2 months after requesting a trade. Excuse me. Austin Ekeler is going to remain in Los Angeles for the final season of his contract. He's got $1.75 million in incentives added to his deal per Shefty. He turned 28 earlier this month. He was scheduled to earn $6.25 in the fourth and final season of his $24.5 million extension. He knows he's underpaid. He said it on a podcast earlier this year. He's going to be bound for free agency after the season. And you just look at Austin Ekeler, 17 starts last year. He had an NFL best 18 touchdowns. That's the 2 straight seasons that he's done that much touchdowns in the NFL. So people saying that, oh, he's comparable or he's okay or anyone can get in the end zone. Not true. Absolutely not true at all. If you're sleeping on Austin Ekeler, I simply think that you don't know the game of football. He rushed for 915 yards last year, which is a team high. Caught 107 passes for 702 yards last year. He was really used as a target out of the backfield, of course. He led the NFL with 822 yards after the catch last season. He ranks 13th in the NFL in average salary. Of course, Christian McCaffrey's number 1. That's always going to be the measuring stick there. But my point as we get into this is, did the Chargers need Austin Ekeler to return? Because I believe they did, okay? I absolutely believe they did because Joshua Kelly, I think, had a little over 200 yards last year. Isaiah Spiller had under 50 yards total rushing last year for the Chargers. And again, Austin Ekeler led the NFL last year with total touchdowns. 204 carries last year, 915 yards, 13 rushing touchdowns, along with 5 receiving touchdowns. 5 receiving touchdowns, 107 catches, 722 yards, like I mentioned. The season before that, he has 20 total touchdowns, 206 carries, 911 yards. Really the same season again. Comes back with 70 catches, so about 30, roughly 23 less catches, I guess. Hold on, Adam. 37 less catches, excuse me. Then 2022, 647 yards, 8 touchdowns, again for 20 total touchdowns in 2021. He had 11 total touchdowns in 2019. And realistically, as you just get into it, Austin Ekeler is an elite running back. Austin Ekeler is an elite 2-way back. He can go in between the tackles. He can split on the outside. I understand that he's got some injury issues, and I hate that. That's always going to make people shy away. That's always going to minimize what people can do. But when Austin Ekeler is healthy and he's full throttle, it is shown. He has 38 touchdowns total over the last 2 seasons, which leads the NFL as a player, of course, outside of quarterbacks. There's not anything you can do to dispute that. And for the icing on the cake, since the Chargers signed Austin Ekeler, who was an undrafted free agent, by the way, 63 touchdowns. He's joining Hall of Famer Lenny Moore, is the only player in NFL history to record at least 25 rushing and 25 receiving touchdowns in their first 6 seasons. Love Austin Ekeler. Big fan of his. Very happy for him. I mean, he's a dog. He is a running back that you want now. He is playing better than Alvin Kamara as of recent. And I don't think, not even that that's not a fair comparison because they are, roughly the same player, like a Joe Mixon, like a Christian McCaffrey. But Kamara's been, misused in that Saints offense, had some things going on offensively the last couple of years. So it's rough. And we've seen, what it's done for Kamara and the Saints. But Austin Ekeler is a guy that would have a huge market. He might not go out and make more than Christian McCaffrey. He might not break the running back market. He might only come in at 12 or 13 or maybe even 11 million like an Aaron Jones, who is also another running back like Austin Ekeler. But I just honestly, the Chargers need to quit fucking around and they need to sign Austin Ekeler. Straight up. They need to quit playing. They need to go ahead and sign him, get him locked up, because again, you have failed to put a running back room around Austin Ekeler. You have failed to get a reputable number 2 back in that room in the last few years because you know that Austin Ekeler is your guy. And even if he struggled through injuries, even if he's been, disputed for ridiculous reasons. Like I said, 38 touchdowns as a player over the last 2 seasons, 63 touchdowns in the first 6 years of his career. And that's with having 5, 6, and 3 in 3 seasons. 3 of the last 4 years, he hasn't had less than 11 touchdowns. 11 touchdowns in 2019, 3 in 2020, 20 in 2021, and 18 in 2022. But yeah, the Chargers, they got to quit messing around. They have to sign him because there's, I mean, and you know, the running back market, there's trades they could pull off, right? There's people that they could go get, but Austin Ekeler wants to stay here. He knows he's underpaid, but he wants to be a Charger. He provides for this team. He really puts it all out there on the field for the Chargers. And I think it would be insane for the Chargers to let him go. They need to work it out. They need to add more to the incentives or whatever. I think they need to get him to a nice contract really right after the season because I know Austin Ekeler is going to be good. He's going to play his heart out. And if he gets injured, of course, knock on wood, very hopeful that that doesn't happen. He's going to be great. He's been healthy for the last 2 seasons. You look at the touchdowns that he's put up. So it would be a major loss for the Los Angeles Chargers to not sign Austin Ekeler. It would be a huge loss for them to let Austin Ekeler go because Austin Ekeler would have a major market, whether it would be the Bengals possibly, whether it would be the Bills possibly, whether the Saints could look into it, whether the, you know, I don't know, if the Dolphins for some reason wanted to sign just a surefire RB1. Like his market's huge. Austin Ekeler's market is absolutely massive, and I believe that really the Chargers shouldn't mess around. They really shouldn't mess around, and they should go ahead and get the deal done with Austin Ekeler.